Hello and welcome to LifeClub presented to you by Tieke. Through LifeClub, we work with young learners like you in nurturing your career and character, the two most important aspects of your life. This Saturday evening, we are excited to go live and share with you how to be simple like Dr. Abdul Kalam. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a moment and do it right now so that when we go live every Saturday evening, you are notified. And also, when we share a live lesson here in our YouTube channel, you will get an alert. Please take a moment and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Last week was a sad moment for all of us in India. Our Chief of Defense Staff, CDS General Bipin Rawat, his wife Madhulika Rawat, died when a helicopter carrying them crashed into a heavily wooded area near Coonoor. Along with them, Brigadier L.S. Laida, Colonel H. Singh, Wing Commander P.S. Chauhan, Squadron Leader K. Singh, J.W.O. Das, J.W.O. Pradeep A., Havildar Satpal, Naik Gursevak Singh, Naik Jitendra, Naik Lance Naik Vivek, and Lance Naik S. Teja lost their lives too. These are our brave countrymen. We remember them, and we remember them with a sort of gratitude for their service to their nation, and we are deeply saddened by their sudden demise. We pray for their families as they have lost their loved ones. We as a country stand with them for their comfort. We would continue to pray for them. We also remember Group Captain Varun Singh, the lone survivor in the crash, who is undergoing treatment in Bangalore. We also pray for his very speedy recovery. Okay. Being simple like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Have you ever wondered why you have so many clothes, even if you don't wear many, in your lifetime? Have you ever wondered why your room is full of things, even though you hardly use many of those things? Have you ever wondered why is it that your study table is full of things, as all that you require on your study table is a few books and notebooks, but you're cluttering your table with plenty of things? The urge of a human being to gain materialistic wealth is beyond control and has a significant impact on our economy too. Companies market products that are actually not needed and add no value to our lives, but the branding of the products is done in such a way that it is made to create an illusion of value addition in our lives, when in reality, all it does is add problems to our lives. The concept of simple living is not just about a clean room with less things. To have peace of mind and live a truly blessed life, we need to follow a simple lifestyle. In Life Club this Saturday evening, let's learn how to be simple, looking into the life of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Dr. Abdul Kalam was an aerospace scientist who served as the 11th president of India from 2002 to 2007. He was born and raised in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, and studied physics and aerospace engineering. He spent the next 4 decades as a scientist and science administrator, mainly at the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, and was involved in India's civil space program and military missile development efforts. He thus came to be known as the Missile Man of India. Dr. Kalam was also elected as the 11th president of our country in 2002, widely referred to all of us as People's President. He returned to his civilian life after his presidency into a very normal life of focusing into education, writing, and public service. He was a recipient of several prestigious awards like the Bharat Ratna, the India's highest civilian honor. While delivering a lecture at Shillong, Dr. Kalam collapsed and died from an apparent cardiac arrest when he was aged 83. Thousands attended the funeral held in his hometown Rameshwaram, where he was buried with full state honors. As stated by Dr. Kalam, luxury and lies have very high maintenance costs, but truth and simplicity are self-maintained without any cost. Luxury and lies have huge maintenance cost, but truth and simplicity are self-maintained without any cost. A lifelong vegetarian, Dr. Kalam enjoyed the simple pleasure in food as well. As a youngster, he was placed in Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram. He was a regular at a small restaurant called the Guruvayurappan Hotel. The owner of Guruvayurappan Hotel, Mr. Parameshwaran Nair, recalls how from 1975 to 1982, he served Dr. Kalam very simple food. Every morning, Dr. Kalam would take a glass of milk and 2 appams. For supper, he wanted only 2 chapatis and again a glass of milk. Dr. Kalam did not even have a television set at his home. He would listen to news on All India Radio. Many of you may not know what is All India Radio. It's a radio service brought out to our country by our government. He used a very small bag along with him always. When anyone asked him to give the bag to carry and help him, he would immediately respond saying, "It's my bag and I should be carrying it. Thank you so much for your offer." Such was his simplicity. The President of India is entitled to many privileges, but Dr. Kalam hardly enjoyed any of them. During the presidential days, Dr. Kalam would keep the expenditures of Rashtrapati Bhavan, the presidential palace, very, very minimum. When the end of his presidency approached, he did not want to take anything back from the presidential palace. When the presidential days of Dr. Kalam came to an end, Dr. Kalam walked out with just 2 suitcases of his personal belongings. His assets are the goodwill of the people and some books and nothing else. His family never was a part of his privileges too. Only once did his family visit Delhi. They traveled in the normal sleeper class coach from Madurai, and a government bus picked them up at the railway station in Delhi. The family left after a 3-day trip and visit to Rashtrapati Bhavan. After their visit, Dr. Kalam asked the accounts officer in Rashtrapati Bhavan to prepare the bill for his family visit and paid it himself. He would never complain about the food as a president. If there was a third extra dish prepared for him, he would ask whether there was any festival that day. He never asked the people in President's Palace to prepare any special dish for him. He was very simple. And even during tours, Dr. Kalam, despite having a tight schedule, would ask whether his staff members accompanying him had their meals or not. If the answer was negative, he told them to have their food, and only after that, he used to proceed with his next appointment. Dr. Kalam spent 5 years in Rashtrapati Bhavan, the presidential palace, and during that time, Rashtrapati Bhavan was always crowded with children, be it any occasion. Even in cases when celebrities were present, kids were surrounding Dr. Kalam all the time in order to interact with him, and he never disappointed anyone. The interaction used to go on for hours and would not end till the last child had met him and spent time with him. After a long day, Dr. Kalam used to spend time listening to his favorite music on an outdated 2-in-1 tape recorder, which many of you would not have seen. Sometime in 2007, a cassette got entangled in the tape recorder, and the president insisted that the tape recorder be repaired. Even as his helpers explained that the tape recorder was outdated and that he could use the latest iPod or advanced music players, he refused to budge. His staff finally found a tiny shop in Delhi to repair the outdated tape recorder that Dr. Kalam was carrying. Dr. Kalam was so simple as a president that he would make anyone feel comfortable when they met him. I once had a privilege to meet Dr. Kalam when he was visiting Chennai and he was staying in Raj Bhavan. At 12:30 in the night, myself along with my friend, we were out there waiting to meet him. And before us were a group of 50 children who spent almost an hour with Dr. Kalam. And after us, there were a few more people who would meet him after we come out. You know, imagine it was 12:30 in the night, and he was with full energy to meet everyone who were waiting to meet him in the Raj Bhavan. As I went inside, he made me feel very comfortable by asking about my job, and he started interacting with me about my own job and gave me a lot of information that he knew about my job. That's how simple and sweet Dr. Kalam was. Simplicity was an inborn quality which he practiced from the beginning till the end. Simplicity was his inborn quality. He practiced it throughout his life. Now, what is being simple all about? Do you ever find yourself feeling totally overwhelmed? You're not alone. In today's busy, modern, constantly connected world, it can seem like there's always something going on, and that can be a little bit much sometimes. In response, people have embraced the concept of simple living. Simple living or living simply has become more and more popular over the last few years as people have prioritized relationships, time, hobbies, nature, getting back to basics, especially during this pandemic. Living simply or simple living has gained a lot of interest among people. Not quite sure what simple living actually means. While the definition can be slightly different for everyone, there are a few common things that connect those who choose a simple life. People who choose a simple life often live with less materials. They focus on the essentials and limit things that aren't necessary for their life. Simple living is all about finding the beauty in less and putting quality over quantity. It's about valuing things that really make us happy. It's a lifestyle that often includes cutting back and streamlining the materials you have and living a simpler and more intentional life, a life driven by what's most important to you, not by accumulating more and more that you do not need at all. Simple living can also focus on self-sufficiency and related ideas like growing and making your own food, embracing crafts and handmade items, and choosing not to rely too much on the modern conveniences. Being simple gives a sense of joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction. When you help someone in need, is far more than the joy you get when you buy a branded or a costly product for yourself. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught many life lessons to us, and one of which is the joy of helping others. It is not just about the joy. We should do it as a responsibility and gratitude towards the privileges that God has granted us. During the pandemic, the global economy was crumbling just because all of us were buying only the bare minimum things and the essential things that we all would need. More than 80% of our economy is surviving because of us spending on things that we do not really need. Finally, minimalism, being simple, is somewhat related to minimalism. What is minimalism? It's a term that is used to refer a lifestyle which is minimum in materialistic point of view, but maximum in peace of mind. We are always frustrated and agitated whenever we come home looking at a shelf full of clothes, a refrigerator full of food, or a table full of useless things. We don't need them at all. Yes, the minimum lifestyle will give a sense of direction and purpose in life. Instead of spending money on things you do not need, use the money to Feed the poor and the people in need. Try this one day, and you yourself will be addicted to that joy. The smile that you see when you feed someone who is in need is enough to have a sense of purpose in life. Now, the question is, why should I be simple? When you understand and appreciate simplicity, you find a sense of joy and contentment that can never be taken away from you. Having a lot of things requires time and energy to maintain. Simplifying your life by having fewer materials allows you more time to enjoy what really matters in life. Today in Life Club, I'm going to give you a few more reasons why you should be simple in your life. Number one, being simple improves your creativity. When you follow a simple life, you cut down on the amount of things you have to deal with, and the time you spend on unnecessary activities, is completely cut down. There's less stuff for you to manage and few activity to involve you, which means more time for you to tap into your creativity and do the things that you really love: dance, draw, sing, paint, craft, music, whatever you want. Give yourself the time and space you need to create something new. This can be hugely beneficial to your physical and mental health as well. Number two, being simple improves your thinking. For many, living a simple life does mean living with less materials, less clutter, fewer electronics, and not as much to deal with will put you in a better space to focus on whatever you need. Your studies, your hobbies, a conversation with family. After spending years surrounded by screens and constant electronic buzz from different gadgets, you might be surprised to see just how well you can actually focus when you eliminate those distractions. And for many who choose to embrace a more simple way of living, television and phone are typically not watched every single night for hours on end. We need to cut down on our TV and gadget times. And that's a good thing, because studies have shown that those who watch more experience cognitive decline, which isn't something that any of us want. So when we choose to live a simple life, we sort of put the right things in place to improve our thinking abilities. Thirdly, being simple would reduce our stress. One of the biggest benefits of simple living is the fact that it leads to way less stress. Without as much to worry about, you can say goodbye to sky high stress levels. Studies have shown that cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, are higher in cluttered spaces. Once the clutter is removed, there was always lesser stress. Stress contributes to a host of different health problems, from poor sleep to heart issues when you grow older, making it a great issue to address. Having adequate sleep is an integral part of living a healthy lifestyle. If you don't sleep well, it can cause a host of health problems when you grow older. When you have less on your plate, it's easier to wind down at the end of the day and fall asleep very quickly, which in turn would reduce your stress levels significantly too. So being simple reduces your stress. Fourthly, it improves quality of life. Living more simply leads to a more joyful life. When you are focused on what matters most and have removed the excess stuff, it brings more fulfillment. Reflecting on gratitude and being content with what you have will help you to fully embrace your simpler lifestyle. The benefits of simple living aren't just associated with your health alone. There are lots of other reasons to embrace a more simple way of life. For some, simple living means taking a more hands-on approach to many of life's essentials. In the process, you can learn to become more self-sufficient. Those skills can be learned no better where you live. Although, of course, it will look different in varying environments like cities, towns, or villages. So being simple would improve your quality of life. Finally, being simple would protect the environment too. By taking a more simple approach to life, you benefit the environment. Everything we purchase, from the food we eat to the cars we drive to the clothes we wear, has an effect on our environment. By living simply, many choose to focus on growing their own food, buying local and buying less, and supporting business in their own local communities. And as a result, they have created very less impact on the environment, which is a very important problem in our times now. So being simple helps you improve your creativity, your thinking abilities. It reduces your stress. It improves your quality of life, and it does protect the environment. Now, the next big question: how to be simple? Now, I looked at the life of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Now, how in my own life I can do certain things to live a very simple life. Here are a few steps. Number one, reduce the digital noise in your life. Our smartphones are both incredible tools and enormous sources of stress as well. The dangers of social media are well known to each one of us. It includes anxiety, stress, depression, loneliness, and many other factors that pulls you down negatively. There are also strong links between online time and teenage bullying and suicide. Hours in front of a screen eventually lead to the erosion of your communication skills, decision making skills, empathy, and ability to concentrate in your studies and other work. Here are some simple tactics and ideas to reduce the digital noise in your life. Don't sleep with the phone next to you. Before sleeping, keep your phone aside. Give 15 to 20 minutes of break from, taking a 15 to 20 minutes of break from your phone before you sleep is very important. You will sleep easier and you will wake up more refreshed. Secondly, dedicate a limited time of your week, let's say 20 minutes, to any one social media if you cannot come out of it completely. Don't have too many social media apps in your device and spend a lot of time every day on it. Schedule it. Give 20 minutes a day maximum to one social media app, and that's it. Thirdly, use your weekends to enjoy your offline life. Find something else to occupy your time. And don't wonder about what you're missing on Facebook or Instagram. Pick up a book to read, go for a walk, a run, or take a game and play. Get busy with something else. And if you fall into social media again, be easy on yourself. Keep trying again and again to see how you come out of it by the simple tricks that we discussed right now here. How to be simple? Number one, reduce the digital noise. Number two, cut down your TV time. Cutting back on your TV time means you will see fewer ads and less of the not so suitable materialism in many films that depict unrealistic lifestyles, which we do not really need to see. While unwinding with a good serial or a series can be very relaxing into a hectic day, hours of TV will ultimately just leave you unmotivated and tired. Limiting your TV time leaves you space for other forms of more rewarding ways to unwind, like reading, listening to inspiring materials. You don't have to unwind yourself by watching TV. You can do, few other things that are more positive. Try exercising if your body is aching, or pick up a challenging hobby that you can devote an hour or half an hour in the evenings. You'll be more energized afterwards than you would after watching a series of TV serials or series or whatever you watch in TV. And when you do watch TV, make it intentional. Plan your viewing and spend some time picking out a good movie or a documentary, a docu-series. You are not maybe actually interested in them, but pick your programs and watch them And don't just keep flipping through the channels and watch whatever is on there. Limit your news intake and watch quality news materials, because watching too much of news will make you more anxious about the current events and more likely to understand different viewpoints that are not very productive. So pick your news viewing as well. Don't watch too many news channels that really would bog you down with too many happenings from different parts of the world and with too many perspectives. So reduce your TV time, and that would help you make your life a little bit more simple. Thirdly, one task at a time. Multitasking means more stress, and it's actually far less productive way to get things done. Work goes much slower when you're constantly switching your attention between your subjects. And while some interruptions can be avoided, you can help yourself by clubbing similar tasks together. This means spending a few minutes on planning your study time an hour, every day, so that you are able to use it effectively. 1 hour of focus time on a more challenging subject. Focus time means not checking on anything else and concentrating only on the difficult subject for you would help you complete your task effectively. Your ability to focus is a skill that would improve with time. So if you find your attention drifting easily, then start with short increments of focus time and increase them gradually. Time blocking is also a powerful tool. Keep a notebook with a to-do list for your work, and your personal life does wonders to save your brain the worry of having to remember everything. This note of to-do list would really help you in terms of remembering things. Fourthly, set simple goals and reward yourself. We often underestimate how long a task will take and then beat ourselves up over not making enough progress. Or we expect too much out of ourselves when trying to embrace a new lifestyle. Then we tell ourselves we are just too busy or not motivated enough to make a change. Impossible to-do lists and sky high expectations only burn you out. If you want a more minimal lifestyle, then start with small goals. And if you fail, then scale back your expectations even further. Start your journey with getting rid of one item a day. Those small acts will make you feel so good that you will want to continue. And that's far more motivating than trying to overhaul your life and failing often. Fifthly, appreciate the little things and practice gratitude. Writing down everything you are grateful for is a practice that increases your happiness and also makes you feel much better that life is a package of good things. When you're constantly bombarded with ads and other people's aspirational social media posts, it's easy to feel that your life is a lackluster in comparison. Then comes the low self-esteem, comparison, and shopping splurges to fill that particular void that you felt comparing yourself with others. But when you practice gratitude, you will appreciate life's small pleasures, and you will be more aware of everything you have and far less likely to envy others. You will learn to see the best in any situation and become more calm and more patient. Try following the following acts to express gratitude or to experience it. Write in the evening in detail about 3 things you are grateful for the day. List 3 things that you can value and appreciate about your friend or anyone in your family. Describe a challenge you have dealt with recently and what you learned from the experience. Write about the 3 people who have made the biggest positive impact in your life. By this way, you will be able to sort of practice gratitude about the life you are living. Being simple is very essential to make your life joyful and be of use to others in need. Take a breath and remember that simple is beautiful. Simple is intentional. Simple means focusing on the important. Well, that's all for today. We are looking forward to see you next Saturday same time. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a moment and do it right now so that when we go live every Saturday evening, you will be notified. And also, when we share a life lesson in our YouTube channel, you will get an alert too. Thank you. Stay simple. Wish you all a great evening and a great week ahead.